Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today we are gonna talk. Okay, so this week's video is for nursing students.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to.
This week's video is for nursing students. Oh, I realize. Light bright.
Oh, you can turn it down.
Like bright bad. I don't want to turn it down. Video go same way though, but because I take off my glasses, I recognize the difference.
You can change it to one too.
Alright, sorry about that, people. You know life goes on. Life goes on. Any volunteers to pull out and wash my hair? I'm gonna be going through the comments. I'd love some, hair care time that's not done by me. Anyway, not the point of this video. Let's get right to it. But before we do, just go on ahead, go down to the little box down here, like, share, and subscribe. Send a friend, let a friend send a friend, tell a friend from around the bend. Yes, road to 100k, guys. Road to 100. Got to aim high. All right, so I've said this before in previous videos. I've been a nurse for a little over a year. Almost a year. Yeah, a little over a year. It's been more than a year, right, since I've been a nurse. And I have been interacting with student nurses from different schools in different years. I remember how hard it was when I was a student, but you make it work, and you work through the unworkable, and you do what you need to do, and you pass your course, and you go through. You see me? Yeah. By the time I was in 4th year, I could have run one. Me not ask, guys. That is how we were trained. So when we're in classroom and we lecturer tell about when them in a 4th year, our nurse left them on a ward by themselves, them one on God, and them had to do it. Excuse me, English. Yeah. Had to be done as it is possible, right? But at this current point in time, I've met some students that I'm not saying that they can't make it, but they need work. Yeah, they need work, and I think some of it might have to do with the adjustments that they have to make because of COVID. And they don't get as much time out in the clinical area, and they don't have as much face-to-face or whatever, and that's fair enough. But the encounters that I've had cannot all be justified by the lack of face-to-face encounter that would help to guide them coming into the clinical area. All right, if I remember correctly, pharmacology and your skills were from 2nd year. Yeah. So mark your medication error is a big thing and it can happen to anybody. So when a student messes up with a medication, me not go hard on you if you say whatever, because it can happen to anybody, right? And everybody nursing career, they make some kind of error, small or large, at some point in time or the other. Serve medication the wrong time, give medication by the wrong route. It happens. Yeah. Too much, too little. Yeah, them something that happen to give the wrong patient. It happens. Some medications I can understand with medications, but when it comes on to skills, when it comes on to knowledge, something right, something right, somewhere, right. Yeah, there are things that I expect a second year to know. There are things that I expect a third year to know. And there are things that a fourth year must know, because I'm expecting them to know these things. And there will be things that a fourth year knows that a second year won't know, etc. Right? Alright. So I was working on an orthopedic ward, got students. So the first day that they came, I love to teach and I love to explain. Ask my batchmate them. I love explain. I love chatting. Yeah. Me love a teaching session. Love it. So I would never turn away a student. If they want to know something, not turn. Maybe explain to you. I don't know, I can tell us I don't know, but we can research it. Yeah. First day that the students came on the ward, I observed, right? I wanted to understand where they were. So I observed. Watch them, read through them notes, or show them prepare them medications, etc. I realized some of them notes never got it. And I also realized that some of the information that we learned or that I learned when I was in nursing school, things have been adjusted. Some of them don't make no sense to me, but to each his own, right? As long as it works. And these students were preparing for span. So you know that one of the things that we would emphasize for them is time management. Very important. You need to learn how to manage your time. Right? The exams were 4 hours for their exams, and they got 2 patients. For me, our batch was a full shift, was 8 hours, and you got 3 patients. And you had to do everything for your patients. Even where I am now, but where I was for school, vitals not the few, you have to do your own vitals. You receive your patients, you serve your patient medication. Because as much as the nurse is in charge of you, it's your patient. So anything that needs to be done for your patient, you are going to do it. When I observed, when medication time come, everybody still sit down at nurse's station. They do them own business. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, Notes still not done writing in my patient chart. When procedure for do, me not see nobody a go look on the procedure. When doctors are the rounds, no student not in a rounds. Then there's something that couldn't happen when me in a nursing school. Are you crazy? Worse if sister come see you still on a station, you must be mad. What? Unacceptable. There's something that could happen. Could not happen. If your preceptor come and see a nursing station, you must done everything and everything them ask you can answer. Even at that time, they don't want to see you there. You must be doing something. I'm not saying that it's not that you cannot rest. I'm not gonna tell nobody to stand up on them foot for 8 hours, right? Because it don't not feel good. So if you can take a break, fine. But I don't expect you to be spending your whole shift at the nurse's station after you receive a patient. That's it. No, it can't work. It can't go so. No go so. When handing over time come 2 o'clock, 2:30, the front sheet, the patient they not eat nothing, they not drink nothing, they not pass no urine, they not pass no stool. Whole shift. The sheet, you have patient name, reg number, diagnosis, the team managing them, everything. Page blank. Everybody's sitting in nurse's station doing nothing. No. This is why you will have nurses who don't want students to take their patients. Because even though I'm supervising you, you are like another patient. Because I have to be watching over every single thing that you do. And it shouldn't be that way. Especially by the time you get to 3rd and 4th year, I'm expecting that you should be able to manage a patient almost on your own, and all I need to do is supervise. My students, the moment they come, I was handing over finish, I make sure I tell them notes have to be in by 9. And there's a reason for this. Because at 9, you need to start preparing for your medications at 10. Yeah, and the doctors come and do rounds very early. When you look, there's no plan written up. And they've been there all day. And they're just sitting down. It cannot work, guys. And I'm not trying to be bashful, and I'm not trying to be harsh, but you have to understand that you're preparing for your future work. This is what you're going to be doing for however long you want to do it. So you need to put out the effort to do it properly. And we're not trying to be we not do the most, right? We not do the most. We just want to make sure that everything is done. And this is me already have my license, so this really is only helping you. So when you go to the hospital on your rotation, you need to have an attitude where you're here to learn. You are there to learn. Yeah. Don't behave as if we know something, because we don't, right? You guys are there to learn. You need to bring that attitude with you when you're coming, that you're here to learn. So you need to be humble. Yeah. Ask questions. Oh my God. Ask question. Do me I beg you, please. If you don't know, you don't know. Ask question. Mark you. There are things that I'm expecting you to know, at a certain level, I'm not supposed to have to tell you what heparin do. You've been home on online class, and when class not keep, what are you doing? I'm not supposed to have to tell you what is enalapril. When you serve medication, the only medication you can serve should not be lansoprazole. It cannot work. Patients are always, you will always find patients on antihypertensive. Long-standing patients will always be on anticoagulants. You will always find diabetic patients that are on diabetic medications, insulin or oral medications. I don't expect you to buck shuffle over things like these when you come on medication trolley and ready to serve medication. You've been at work since 7 a.m. When you're ready to go up on a trolley, you're supposed to know what you're serving, right? So when my students come, notes in by 9. Go through the chart. Go through the cardex. Check the doctor's notes. If you see a condition that you don't know, read it. Receive your patient, read up on the condition. Read up on the condition, then receive your patient. It all depends on how you're able to maneuver yourself. Because if you don't know the condition, then you're unable to accurately assess your patient. Right? So that is important, that you know what the condition is and what to assess for. So you need to do that, right? You need to make sure that you know what is happening for your patient. When the doctor them come for round, if you're unable to actually join the rounds, you need to check their notes. You need to check the chart that they update and put what is to happen for the patient for the rest of the day. That must happen. You must know what's happening with your patient, right? You have patients who have BD dressing. Nurse don't do first dressing already, and you are completely unaware of that the dressing is done or is to be done. Can't work. And the only time when no one dressing or when no one prepare for exam, that cannot work. This is a skill, which means that the more you practice it, is the better you become at it. Yeah, you guys have to. You have to. I don't know what's happening right now with nursing students, but something has to shake up. Something has to be done. You guys need to put up more effort. I've met 4th years who them never put up one heavy. Them never set up one heavy. As in put up the fluids, and them never give a heavy medication. I find that so strange. I met a student who's never seen a UCAT being done and never attempted to cite a UCAT. And it was just so weird for me at 4th year. I mean, what? I'm like, huh? What? I had a student who, one of my friends, I was talking about it, I made a post, and he was saying that, you know, I should have taught her, use that as a teaching moment. But at the time, my only reaction was just shock, because she took up a PO medication. PO means oral medication. She took up something that should be served by mouth, which is like a pill or a syrup, but she took up a pill and asked how to reconstitute it to be used to serve intravenously through a drip. Like, how this, like, I don't know. It was beyond me how she came up with that. But I mean, things like those are so weird. I've been in span exams with students, and only medication that they opt to serve is lands up. Why? You guys been going through school for 4 years. You did pharmacology for 3 years, and you mean vitamin C between the 3 years there, from the time that till now, the only medication you know out of your head, like the back of your hand, is Lanzap. You don't know nothing else. You don't know no other medication. What are you saying to me? No, it can't work. It cannot work. This is going to be a part of what, this is going to be something that you do every day. It's not even a part of, this is going to be your life as a nurse. Serve medication, do skills, patient care. This is something that you're gonna have to do for as long as you're doing nursing. So what? Now there are things that I'm gonna discuss in another video, like dressing, and I'm also gonna talk about medication process. There are things that I've seen students do now that is completely different from what I did. But this is how they say that their preceptors want it to be done, and I can appreciate that, and I mean, that's fine. But another thing is, one, there's something that's always emphasized, and it is that you must have evidence base, and there must be a rationale for doing what you're doing. There must be a reason, right? So when you're writing your care plans, after you write your intervention, there's a rationale, because there must be a reason for doing whatever you're doing while you're taking care of this patient. Now your preceptor tells you something, that this is what they're expecting, and there's no reasoning, there's no thinking to say, okay, hey, why do I have to do this? Why is this step necessary? Or instead of doing this, can this be done? Everything is just take exactly as it is and do it. And a lot of persons have complained about critical thinking. I think this is a part of what's going wrong, because when the students are learning, there's so much emphasis put on doing things exactly how the preceptors or the lecturers say they are to be done, that the students don't get to experiment or to understand doing it another way. So the only way they know how to do it is the way that the lecturers tell them to do it, because if they don't do it that way, they're gonna fail. I don't appreciate that. To me, it doesn't make sense. Now, there's a principle to serving medication. You have 3 steps, and you have also verification that's done prior to your 3 steps, right? And if I'm serving a tablet, I don't have to put my water in the same tray as this is just an example. I'm just saying, like, I don't have to, this isn't a rule that I have to put the water beside the pill to take it to the patient, right? I can serve the patient the pill more than one ways. I can see if the patient already has water at his bedside. I can take him some water. Just like, this isn't something, you know, but I'm just trying to bring across an example, right? Critical thinking is lacking, time management is lacking. Students, I don't know, like, there's this, what is this attitude? how do I describe this attitude? Like, me. You're just like, that cannot work. We the nurses we don't know what to do with that kind of behavior. Well, me don't know what to do with it, for sure. Because if you come to learn and you sit down and just, what me for do? Can't do nothing. There was one day that I had to like just pull up a group of students and sit them down and just talk to them bluntly. I met them know say this is foolishness and it needs to stop. Medication actually I push out and no get up for serving a patient medication, not even one time. Medication I serve 10 o'clock, medication I serve 12 o'clock, medication I serve 2 o'clock, medication I serve 6 o'clock. Some patient depend 8 o'clock medication, you have premium medication and you not get up to serve none of them. Not even one. And then when you go in a span now, you're so freaked out because you don't know if you're not going to do it right, and because you not practice and it not become like a part of you, you don't know what to do and you're so fluttered in exam. And you just, guys, it's something passionate about, because we're not going to continue to do foolishness. When we become nurses, hopefully you become nurses, it's gonna be an issue as a nurse. So something like, if there are nursing students watching this video, I am willing to help you guys. I don't mind walking you guys through a process. I don't mind taking you with me to the patient's bedside to show you how to do something, right? But me have to see some willingness. Like, me not gonna stress out myself to push someone who doesn't want to be pushed. I have a friend who she's at the point where she's just like, just come off of the medication, Charlie. Just leave it alone. I'll serve the whole ward of medication by myself, because right now this doesn't make no sense. I understand also that things are hard because of COVID and you guys don't get out of, you haven't gotten a lot of exposure in the clinical area, but this is where you should excel in your theory. When I ask you how something should be done, you're supposed to just spit, like it just a flow. You're not supposed to get some spell on a book and a shuffle, because you had time, you had extra time, you weren't in the clinical area, you had extra time to be focusing on this. I mean, like, I can understand if you didn't know that this is a part of it, but once you recognize that this is something that you need to brush up on, may expect to see improvement. May expect to see you will come. Oh, and another thing that I ask my students for are care plans. I always ask for care plans, even if you don't write it out, right? I need you to come up with a label based on your assessment of the patient. Come up with a label and tell me some of the things that you would do for your patient with that diagnosis. It only helps you when it comes to exam. I'm tired for soon to come, and when exam come around the corner, everybody is just so stressed out because them don't know how to come up with diagnosis. I'm not think like, I'm not thinking. You're not thinking. You have a patient that has a broken limb of a major bone, like a long bone, right? And I'm like, what diagnosis can you get from this patient? What's a complication that you can see based on what's happening to this person? I talk to myself, like, everybody just stand up and look. Everybody just stand up and look for me. There should be things that are jumping out at you, like the moment you hear fracture, you're supposed to automatically start thinking about certain things. I can cover that in another video, right? But you guys need to get to the point where your theory you can now apply it, right? Your theory can now be applied to the real life situations that you see, and you can legit expect certain things. You have a patient, elderly patient come in, right? Them drop, them get a brain injury. We need to start thinking now, okay, patient got a brain injury. What is this going to cause? What are some of the things that I'm going to need to assess with this patient with a brain injury? What are some of the things that I'm expecting the doctors to do for this patient with a brain injury? You need to be thinking along that line. Okay, patient is on this medication. The medication does this. So because this is the action of the medication, I can expect that some of the things that the patient will experience as a side effect is this, because it is working on this particular thing. You have to think that way. The more you apply it, the more you put it into perspective, is the easier it becomes for you. If you think about the patient's condition, think about the complications that can arise, boom, you have your nursing diagnosis right off the bat. Nothing to worry about. And not forget to that point, because this is the only way that you will go into exam, and you will not be as flustered, you will not be as fluttered. If something should go awry, you can automatically, by default, you can start thinking about, okay, this didn't work out, or this is happening, so I can now do this. You don't have to be able to think on your feet. And that is where I'm going to end this video this week. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'd like for you guys to comment below on some of the things that you would like me to flesh out, to give you a little bit more heads up on if there's anything that you want to ask as it relates to being a nurse, like in real life, not what they tell you in school, because what they tell you in school, only some of those things you actually experience, or you may never experience it, or you may experience that and so much more. So you can leave comments below and let me know what you guys think on the video, and what are some of the things that you'd like me to discuss for your benefit, educational purpose, or just even to give you some experiences as to what I've experienced in various situations. If you've had to deal with a patient with a particular condition and you weren't sure on the management or whatever, I know Sarah does a very good job at explaining conditions, but as it applies to being a nurse in Jamaica, that's kind of, it's a whole different ball field. So you guys can let me know. Thank you for watching my video. Love you guys.